Hello, my name is Natalie Korpics, and I'm a structures engineer for Pratt Whitney. I've been working for this company for about 5 years now, and I've held two different roles in the industry. So I was a supplier quality engineer for 2 years, and then I became a structures engineer, which I have been for about 3 years now. I'm here to talk to you today about the different career options that you can explore within the field of aviation. As a structures engineer or a quality engineer is just one thing that you could do. There are so many different options that anyone can go pursue, including being a pilot, an engineer, or anything in between. So today we're going to talk about some of the possible options that you could choose in your career in aviation. Let's get started. There are many different types of diverse career options within the field of aviation. So, when you typically think of a career in aerospace or aviation, what do you think of? Is the answer a pilot? Is the answer a steward or stewardess? Is the answer an engineer? Those are all correct, but there's definitely more options out there too. So, some of the options that you could go pursue could be an air traffic controller, an aircraft maintenance technician or an AMT, aircraft rescue and firefighting, a pilot, a steward or a stewardess, airport operations, which means taking care of the daily tasks needed to actually run an airport, being an airframe and power plant technician or having your A&P license, being a financial analyst, being a forecasting or demand planner, a program manager, which is a broader term for managing the different things for a specific aircraft program, a quality specialist, making sure that the product for the engine or the aircraft is to the standards that we need for the reliability of the operation of the engine or the aircraft, being a security and risk analyst, or a manufacturing technician, or a supply chain analyst, working in regulation and safety, making sure that we set standards and rules for the field of aviation so that we can all fly safely. And then you also have a bunch of different engineering options. So typically you would think of an aerospace engineer in the field of aviation, which is right, but there's also manufacturing engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, and then you start getting into different disciplines like test engineering, field services engineering. You could also be an unmanned systems designer. Or you can be what I am right now, which is a structures engineer, which gets into very detailed analyses. So as you can see on this slide here, there's a lot of different things that you could go and pursue, and you don't have to be an engineer. You don't have to be a pilot. Although those are great things to pursue, there's definitely flexibility when it comes to aviation based on what you like to do and what you're good at. There's really a good fit for anyone within aviation that has a passion for it. So you may ask yourself, in the field of aviation, what type of aircraft can I work on? So the answer is it really depends. There's many different types of aircraft that you could work on in your career. There's commercial and military, which are the two big different types. But there's also helicopters, there's small business jets, there are unmanned vehicles and drones, and there are also small recreational planes. So you may have seen any of these different types of aircraft. You may have even flown on one of them, or many of them. The most popular one that you may think of on a vacation type setting is a commercial aircraft. So that is your plane that you would take as a commercial passenger to whatever destination you like. The military jets are your fighter aircraft primarily, or a transport vehicle that the military would use. Your helicopters, they can be used for either commercial or military purposes. Your business jets are typically a smaller version of your commercial aircraft. Unmanned vehicles and drones are more of a newer development in the aircraft world, and that could really be anything from security aircraft, working with the military, different private pilots. The options are endless in that realm. And then small recreational planes may be for personal pilot licenses, working with smaller airports, things of that nature. So really there's a lot of different options within aviation for the type of aircraft that you could work on. So now that you know what sort of careers you can pursue in aviation and what types of aircraft you can work on, what does it mean to actually work on the aircraft? What sort of parts can you be working on? So this list is an introductory look at the different options that you have and is by no means the entire list, but these are some of the main fields that people typically go into. So first you have your main engines, which provide the thrust to the aircraft to make it move forward. You have your aircraft body, which includes the wings, the tail, and then the main section that the passengers sit in. You also have your auxiliary power units, which are kind of like the backup generator to the aircraft. You also have your electronic controls. You have landing gear, which does include the wheels of the aircraft. You have thermal protective coatings, which are very important for the harsh environments that planes can fly in. You also have defense systems and equipment, which is especially used by our military aircraft. You also have display systems and interfaces, which is what the pilot could be looking at when they're actually operating the plane. Another important aspect that some people don't think of is we actually sometimes need special equipment to be able to manufacture certain parts for a specific plane. So you could be working on developing the machine that's necessary to produce that part or parts, which is very important. You could also be working on developing more durable metal alloys, so working on more of the materials side and actually doing testing of materials, which is a lot of fun. You could be working on sensors and alert systems, making sure that if something happens, the pilot and the crew will know about it. You could also be working in the field of 3D printing or additive manufacturing, which is a fun new process improvement that we have that's just starting to be implemented within the field of aviation, and making sure that we can get parts faster and making sure that they're actually as reliable as they need to be using this new technology. We also have fuel tubes, which are important to make sure that the engines have what they need to create that thrust. We also have the area of creating aircraft cabin interiors. So that would be creating the seats, the filtration systems, the overhead seat bins, and things like that that passengers would actually be using. We have radio communication systems, advanced fuel development, and also aircraft runway development. So that would be working within the airport itself. So there's many different options that you could pursue within aviation. So now that we've talked about what sort of career options you may have, what sort of aircraft you can work on, and what sort of parts you can work on, now we're going to introduce some aviation and flight schools that you could go to. There's a lot of different options out there, and it depends on where you would like to go to school and what sort of options those schools have, but here's an introductory list for you to consider. Now, if you like aviation, then I really think you're going to like these videos. I found that they're really inspirational for just seeing what aviation is like and what it's like to work in aviation and to get to fly planes and immerse yourself in how exciting aviation actually is. So take a look at these videos, such as a day in the life of a flight attendant, being an aviation maintenance technician, working as the first female Thunderbird pilot in the US Air Force. There's a program by Delta to help girls pursue aviation careers, which I thought was so much fun and I wish would actually have happened when I was younger. There's a career in aviation by JetBlue for Francesca, who works as a flight operator. The future of aerospace manufacturing and all the technology that goes into it. Meeting a manufacturing engineer and what it's actually like to work as one. And how we actually use data in flight to help connect us with our customers. So take a look at these videos. I found them to be a lot of fun, and please let me know if you find any other videos that you find to be inspirational. I would love to see them too. Thank you so much for taking time to view this video from Women in Aviation's Connecticut chapter. We wanted to give you an exploratory look at what it means to actually work in the field of aviation. As you can see, you can really do anything within aviation. There's so many options for you to pursue, and really all it takes is a little bit of passion for flight. We hope that this will inspire you to pursue a career in aviation, and we would love to connect with you if you have any further questions or comments about working in the field of aviation. Please reach out to us, and we look forward to talking to you.